independent candidate. Brent, go ahead.
Why no questions on the environment?
I don't think everybody wants to stay all night, ma'am. You know, we've filled her up pretty. We filled her up pretty good. Those were the questions that they had. Ma'am, there's a lot of folks here. This is not your show. Okay, please. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thank you to the Chamber for organizing this. Friends, on October 19th, you have an important decision to make, but poor choices among the parties and the party leaders. If you believe that Canadian democracy is working well with its hyper-partisanship, its mean-spirited and pettiness, its leader-centric caucuses, and its infantile behavior, then most certainly support one of the partisan alternatives. If, however, you believe that there is a better way of governing ourselves, I invite you to consider a genuine option. Friends, I genuinely believe that I was a better representative outside of the Conservative caucus than I was inside it. While in caucus, I could speak freely neither in the House nor in the media, and I had a constant battle with the Prime Minister's office over the contents of Brent's blog. As an independent, I spoke freely and voted based on my assessment of the best interests of my constituents. There is absolutely no evidence to suggest St. Albert Edmonton is lost out by not having a seat at the government table. Quite the contrary, actually. You will all recall, at the end of July, Regional Minister Rona Ambrose rode into St. Albert, leaving almost $500,000 in funding, more than any other riding in the capital region. Moreover, given the tightness in the polls, there is no guarantee that that table will even be blue after October 19th. So you're gambling if you're going to vote strategically in the hopes of getting a seat at the government table. But it's all irrelevant, because the caucus table is not where decisions are made. Power moved from Parliament to Cabinet long ago, and is now concentrated inside the Prime Minister's office. If you truly want a seat at the table, then you should apply for a job in the Prime Minister's office. Now, I thought the most interesting question tonight was actually the abortion question. Mr. Cooper would not tell us his views, even though they've been circulating on the internet since last weekend, but he told us that the Prime Minister would not allow the debate to reopen. So you get the worst of both worlds. You get a representative whose views are offside the majority of the Canadians, but the admission that he's not going to be able to advance those views because the Prime Minister's office controls everything. The good news is that all signs point to a minority parliament and of a government of a colour yet to be determined. It is my hope that in a minority parliament there will be enough democratic reformers amongst the independents and the third and fourth and even fifth parties to leverage much needed improvements to our Canadian democracy. Separation of omnibus bills into digestible sized pieces with separate debates and separate votes in each part, the elimination of time allocation and closure in all but truly emergency situations, and freeing up backbenchers to represent their constituents in all but confidence matters and matters that they specifically campaigned on. These are the democratic reforms that I hope to leverage in exchange for supporting whoever forms government after October 19th. Good governance leads to good decision making. Opaque decision making leads to scandals that are now the Harper legacy. Scandals, and now worse, wedge politics designed specifically to pit one group of Canadians against another. And this type of politics is unbecoming of a Canadian Prime Minister and makes us all less safe and ought to be rejected in a pluralistic and tolerant society. The choice is real, the choice is yours. If you believe our politics is broken, do not simply replace one color of wallpaper with another. Send a message to the nation that you want somebody to represent you rather than represent a party to you. If you want true representation over a trained seal, I humbly invite you to return me to the 42nd Parliament of Canada. If not, I want you to know what an honor and a privilege it has been to represent you in Parliament for the last 7 years. One way or another, make sure that you exercise your democratic franchise on October 19th. Thank you so much for your interest in Canadian democracy, and please have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Good night.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker, of course, will be Darlene Maleko of the New Democratic Party. Darlene, I think I'll put this step here if you don't mind, and I think that'll work a little better. You might not have to move this mic. Give that a try if you would.
Well, thank you to all who came out tonight and to my colleagues. On October 19th, we will be voting in a federal election, and I'm asking that you carefully consider your ballot. As I said, I'm not running in this election. I'm running in this election because I care. I didn't take a 2-month leave of absence from my job without pay because I need a holiday or a break. It's because I want change. It's because I think we need change. And I stand before you as the only real alternative to the Conservative government. Last election, Brent sat in Michael's seat, and now he's a Conservative without any connections or power, no caucus committees, and that equals no results. The difference is, truth be known, we are missing out, or let me talk about Rona Ambrose. Rona Ambrose came here, you mentioned, and she came here a few days before the election was called, before the writ was dropped, and threw some money at us. It had nothing to do with consultation. It had nothing to do with who was representing us. We need somebody in Parliament who can help us attain that vital funding that we need to help us in our community, to help us to grow and prosper. We need a strong voice in Ottawa. We need a member of Parliament who can deliver. The Liberals, the Conservatives haven't delivered, and the Liberals often side with the Conservatives. And we can look to Bill C-51, and we can see that the Conservatives brought it in, the Liberals supported it. The TTP as well. The Conservatives are agreeing to it, and the Liberals are as well. We need to consult with our constituents, and we need a strong member of Parliament to make sure that our voice is represented there. Thank you.
Darlene Maleko. Darlene, thank you very, very much. Our next speaker will be Beatrice Gatuba of the Liberal Party of Canada. Beatrice, do you need some help with that mic?
Thank you. Like Justin Trudeau would say, this election is about you. Whether you are a worker, or a small business person, you're a senior, a middle class person, a student, or indeed a veteran. Veterans especially, on whose back the Conservatives have balanced the budget. Because besides laying off lots of frontline workers, they closed 9 offices and returned $1 billion unspent out of the budget. You can see how our budget has been balanced. Now, for the seniors, we know that we have a plan that is wholesome and all including the infrastructure. You look up and say, Beatrice, you spoke about many big ideas about the future of Canada. Programs that will improve you and your neighbors, their capacity to take challenges on everyday life, to be more entrepreneurial, and to invest in the decisions that make a difference in your family. I've spoken about big national ideas that only a federal government that believes in the future and the possibilities of Canada can take on. And I've been realistic in this manner, that we will be having a 3-year deficit. Because as any Canadian would know, indeed an Albertan, where is all this money coming from? As an accountant, I see the impact of debt on cash flows and the balance sheet of my clients. I also know that prudent use of debt can vastly improve overall profitability of a business. And therefore, our proposal to run a modest deficit, lower than the ones that Stephen Harper has been running, is enough, sufficient to jumpstart the economy and get us going again, especially at a time when the interest rates are at its lowest. It is the best time to borrow, so that we can grow the economy now and build for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, since I came to this country, I've been blessed in your midst because I've learned so much, the very best of who you are. I have no doubt since I came to this country since 1998, I've never been treated to a harsh word or been treated differently at all, at all. I've been treated as one of you until yesterday. Because of this discussion about the hijab, about people being different, somebody dared to call me and kinda make me feel different. Canada is better, stronger because of our diversity. We are not the divisive kind of people. We welcome people and we are stronger together. And I appeal to you on 19th, please vote for the Liberal Party because that is the hope of a new start now and hope for those who are hopeless. Thank you and have a good evening.
The Liberal Party of Canada. Our last speaker to this topic, will be Michael Cooper of the Conservative Party of Canada. Michael, please.
Well, thank you to the Chamber for organizing. Thank you to the Chamber for organizing this great forum this evening, and thanks again to all of you for participating and putting forward the issues and questions that matter to you. You know, we've come a long way over the last 9 years under Prime Minister Harper. Taxes are at the lowest level in more than 50 years. We've invested in infrastructure. We've strengthened Canada's social safety net. The budget is balanced, and the fundamentals of the Canadian economy are strong. Simply put, Canada is stronger and better under the leadership of Prime Minister Harper. After all of the progress that we made over these past 9 years, now is not the time to change course with risky schemes, higher taxes, and more debt offered by the Liberals and the NDP. We need to stay on track with the low-tax, balanced budget plan of Prime Minister Harper, focused on jobs and trade, that has made Canada the economic leader of the industrialized world for the past number of years. As your Conservative Member of Parliament, I can have a seat at the table to work as part of a team to get results. My representation as a member of Prime Minister Harper's team is not to talk, but to do. For the past several months, my team and I have knocked on more than 33,000 doors throughout our St. Albert Edmonton riding. I've listened, and I've engaged, and I've received unprecedented grassroots feedback. And now I want to act to be your voice in Ottawa as your Member of Parliament. I ask for your vote on October 19th.
Michael Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Cooper, the Conservative Party of Canada. On behalf of everyone present, I'd like to thank the 4 candidates. They have chosen to seek office in the 2015 federal election. We appreciate their responses to some very difficult questions. And again, ladies and gentlemen, hold your applause for all of them. Michael Cooper of the Conservative Party of Canada, Beatrice Gatuba of the Liberal Party of Canada, Darlene Maleko of the New Democratic Party, and Brent Rathgaber, our independent candidate. Thank you very much.
Go Purple!